Backyard Baseball was the first backyard sports game to debut in 1997 when I was 4 years old and still having trouble pronouncing my R's. It's a simple point and click game that makes baseball approachable to everyone, but most importantly, kids. The main focus of the game was just to have fun. Now fast forward 27 years later, and Backyard Baseball is back, and now available on Steam. And one of the advantages of it being on Steam is giving people a brand new way to experience it, with achievements. And I know the title says Backyard Football and I'm talking about Backyard Baseball, but just give me a minute, it all connects, I promise. For the most part, the achievements on Backyard Baseball are very approachable. There are straightforward goals like winning the championship or hitting 50 home runs, but some of the others fit into different categories. Some of these achievements are based off of luck, and these range from being kind of lucky and hitting the ball that lands in a dumpster, to being extremely lucky and hitting a home run in Tin Can Alley without a power-up. This one specifically is a pain because, as a kid, I didn't even know you could hit a home run here. But apparently, if you hit the ball right up this sideline, it can go through an out-of-bounds area, and that counts as a home run. I mean, it's a lot better than trying to hit it over that building, that's for sure. Then there are some achievements that are just extremely tedious, like striking out 250 batters. The math says this would take a minimum of 84 total innings, assuming you struck out every batter you face, which, let's be honest, is very wishful thinking. So although you can theoretically crank out 250 home runs in one inning and get the home run achievement, the strikeouts will absolutely take up a lot of your time. Fortunately, Backyard Baseball 2001 learned from those mistakes and took out that achievement. But we're not talking about Backyard Baseball 2001, are we? We're talking about Backyard Football. And Backyard Football's achievements are some insane combination of luck and dedication mixed in with absolute crushing skill, which simultaneously made it the most fun and also the most nightmarish experience I've ever had in gaming. But let's kind of break it down here from the beginning. Backyard Football is comparable to Backyard Baseball when it comes to its simplicity. Create your own team, take the field, and throw it to Pablo for a touchdown. Oh, he dived! That's a touchdown! It's a fun, silly way to spend your time if you like football, or sink your entire childhood investing in learning every play, every formation, and every snap this game had to offer. I'm not kidding when I say I played this game so much as a kid, I was basically the John Madden of Backyard Football 1999. What's up guys, Don Gladden here for another Backyard Football breakdown. Today, we've got the Cheeses taking on the Wombats, and I got a special play for you that I wanted to pick out, alright? So here, we've got the Cheeses on defense. Now this is a typical defense. You got your two rushers here, and you got a guy out wide on each side to cover the receivers. Pablo is playing the free safety, which means if he sees it right to blitz, he's gonna blitz, and oh boy does he today. Now his indicator is that down here, we've got Kenny, who looks like he'd be going out for a pass, but he is actually set up to block, and you can tell in his stance, right? So that means that the lone receiver is going to be up here in Ernie Steele. Now Pablo trusts that Barry can handle Ernie one-on-one on the outside, and knowing the setup where Kenny is down here blocking, it means it's probably going to be a rollout down to the bottom of the field. So go ahead and run the clip here. We see Pablo actually swing over, getting ready to blitz as the ball is hiked. And here comes Shane, not expecting Pablo to be there already. Bam! Hits him with the sack, and the play is over before it even started. Now that is some backyard football. Over to you, Sonny. And here I thought having all that knowledge was gonna go to waste. But in the year 2025, Backyard Football is now available on Steam, and it is offering up some of the most difficult, diabolical, and outright sadist levels of achievements I've ever seen from a children's game. Heck, from any video game in general. And I loved every second of it. But let's get some of the simple ones out of the way first. Win a game, create a play, shut out your opponent, play in the snow, take a kick return for a touchdown, and of course, win the Super Colossal Cereal Bowl, amongst others. Most of these you get just from playing the game. But one specifically I want to point out that's easy but also very fulfilling is the Steel Curtain. Generally, you can play against these tackling dummies if you're trying to learn the controls or if you want to test out a new play. But if you create a brand new team and name the coach Mr. Clanky, the game will bypass the team and player choices and give you the tackling dummies as your franchise team. Their running stats aren't all that great, so they're a bit slow, but boy can they kick. Simply by making this team, you unlock the achievement, but low-key, I used this team to help me get the achievement for kicking a 50-yard field goal, because their kicking is that good. But side note about that, apparently the game isn't calculating either the snap distance or the end zone when measuring the field goal distance, so in order to kick a 50-yard field goal, you actually have to kick like a 57-yarder. Oh! It's good! I want to see this. Wait, 48? What do you mean? Which, to be frank, the tackling dummies are doing in their sleep. It's like having 7 Brandon Aubreys out there. Honestly, they should be giving Dimitri some lessons. Dude is so far off, it's like he's aiming for the parking lot. No, it's too much to the right!
This is it, right?
The rest of these absolutely will test your ability to play this game. They don't just ask you to be good, they ask you to dominate. I'm talking a whole 6-pack of the 110% juice boxes worth of effort. And we'll start with the 100-point game. It really didn't put into perspective how difficult this particular challenge was until I saw someone else play the game for the first time. And nothing against anyone who finds it challenging to score in this game. I'm just glad to see that they're having fun. But let me break down to you why this is difficult. There are 4 1-minute quarters in this game, so you do not have a lot of time with the ball. If you were to score 3 touchdowns each with a 2-point conversion in all 4 quarters, you would still only have 96 total points. 12 touchdowns and 12 successful 2-point conversions is still not enough to complete this challenge. So when I got this achievement by scoring exactly 100 points as time expired, it wasn't just lucky, it was calculated. And here's how. Before you do anything, make sure the game is set to hard mode and that you're always playing in the sunshine. This makes sure that everyone in the game moves at their fastest speed, and if you play on an easier difficulty or in the rain and snow, the players run slower, meaning you probably will score less. This is a good tip for every achievement from here on out, so do that first. And my biggest tip is to just play with the keyboard. I know a lot of people like to play with the mouse, but the keyboard is like way more intuitive. Then you have to make sure that you're playing against the right team for this. There's always a couple teams that do most of their plays out of the backfield, and the reason why this is key is so that you can go for more sacks and tackles for losses. That's right, we're going for safeties. Although the safety is only 2 points, those 2 points add up in the end, especially when you're getting like 4 a game. So kick it deep and go for safeties. You get points, you get the ball, that's a win-win. Next, when you get the ball, you have to score quick. Deep shots down the field every time. Get quick passes, find separation, and score, score, score. And then always go for 2. No mercy. Okay, a little bit of mercy. I mean, no mercy. And the last thing you should focus on is defense and special teams. Every time you get 2 sacks or tackles for loss, you get a power-up. There are 3 different defensive power-ups, so you have a 1 in 3 chance of getting the one you need. Cough drop. This automatically causes the opponent to fumble on contact, allowing you to scoop and score. It's a lot faster to just get defensive touchdowns instead of completely turning the ball over and going for another offensive play and potentially bleeding more clock. The same goes for punt and kick returns, especially when you're getting towards the end of a quarter. But the real challenge is putting all of that together and trying to get at least 25 points per quarter. Don't expect to get this one on your first try because it is a challenge, but the 100 Club is a fun club to be a part of. It breaks the scoreboard at the end of the game and then actually tells you that you lost because the game doesn't understand how to calculate triple-digit points. Luckily, it's not actually a loss though, because the back-end programming does understand that you won the game, so you can still keep your undefeated season. No worries there. There are a few other single game achievements as well. Some of them are not as insane, like getting 500 rush or pass yards in a game, and that just focuses on passing or rushing for the entire game. But there are a few other achievements that require very specific planning. One of them is to get 20 sacks in one game. And at first I thought that would be easy because I have both Dimitri and Keisha on my team. That combo together is a powerhouse. Like, imagine having Micah Parsons and Aiden Hutchinson on the same defensive line. And that would still only be a fraction of what these two can accomplish together. In most typical games, I come away with like 4 to 8 sacks, so trying to figure out how to get more than double of that was gonna be tough. The reason being that the other team gets maybe 20 total snaps the entire game. So hoping to sack them on every play is a huge ask because even if they run the ball once, it's basically over. So how do you maximize the amount of sacks you can get? Simple. You maximize the amount of time you spend on defense. So here's the play. Squib kick, rush, 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 get 1 or 2 sacks per defensive hold, then when they punt the ball to you, punt it right back to them on first down and go again. The achievement didn't say I had to win the game, it just said I had to get 20 sacks. And I did. But I also did end up winning the game, but that's just because I have Pablo to thank for this crazy interception in the end zone. Pablo intercepted it! The next achievement that follows the same principle is getting 10 interceptions in a game. This one was far more difficult and required much more methodical planning. Since you have to let the quarterback throw the ball first before you can intercept it, having Keisha and Dimitri steamroll every play for a sack was going to be counterintuitive for our objective. So here's what I did. Go to the create a play screen and make a couple complete zone read plays where nobody rushes the ball at all. Still keep them close to the line of scrimmage so they can pick up receivers on quick routes, and make sure you play defenders who are really good at catching. Every interception is a 50-50 ball, so the goal here is to maximize the amount of chances you have at interceptions. Play zone, intercept the ball, and then again, punt it back to the other team on first down to get more chances. You don't have to win the game. Just intercept the ball. This one absolutely took me a few tries because the other team kept running the ball, and I don't blame them. If I was the coach and I saw my quarterback threw 8 interceptions by the half, I'd tell him to stop throwing it too. But an additional small tip with this one is to do a pickup game where you can choose your season team. That way you can select the opponent you go against and choose a team that you know has more pass plays in their playbook. But otherwise, best of luck with these two because I don't anticipate anyone getting them naturally. And the last set of achievements here are the season-long achievements. These are crucial because if you slip up for a game or two, you would have to start the entire season over. The first one up is having an undefeated season, which is probably the easiest of the bunch because if you find yourself behind or losing, you can simply just hit the spacebar, restart the application, and then start that game from the beginning. And then it's like it never happened. Throwing 5 picks? Couldn't be me, but they only get more difficult from here. There are 2 individual achievements for rushing and receiving. One is to get 5,000 total yards receiving with one player in one season, and that basically means don't go for defensive touchdowns, don't go for special teams touchdowns, and on every offensive play, you're throwing the ball to that receiver. You have to average more than 350 yards per game just to that one player, and it's not the most difficult thing to do in the world, but I also recommend always going for 2 after every touchdown and passing to that player on the 2-point conversion because those extra 5 yards add up. Alternatively, the one for 5,000 rush yards in a season goes about the same way. I specifically picked Pete Wheeler for his speed and made him the quarterback so no matter the play, I can just focus on snapping the ball to him and running with it. In fact, I even designed some pass plays that send the receivers downfield as a distraction, which opens up the opposite side for Pete to break it out for a big run. You're still aiming for more than 350 yards per game, but if you focus on rushing on every single play, you'll do fine. And again, if you find yourself behind on yardage on any of these games, spacebar, restart, and then start that game over. But the last achievement I have here is literally the hardest achievement this game has to offer. I'm not even kidding. It has a 0.1% completion rate. Nobody is doing this by accident. It's called the High-Powered Rocket Arm, and it asks you to pass for 10,000 yards with a single player. I also noticed that it didn't say to do it in one season, so I figured I'd ask on Twitter, and the official Backyard Sports page responded to me with a cat emoji. So that definitely didn't answer my question. But considering how much I played and already had 2 different 5,000 yard passing seasons with Chase downfield, plus the rarity of the trophy, all signs pointed to this being in a single season. So I definitely had my work cut out for me. But here's what I did. Backyard football has a standard 14-game season. In order to pass for 10,000 yards over those games, it means you have to average 715 yards per game. That's nearly 360 yards per half and 180 yards per quarter. you're essentially doing two 90-yard drives every single quarter for every single game during the entire season. So this had to be done intentionally. So every time I got the ball, I would end up running backwards within my own 5-yard line. Then my plan was to go for huge pass plays down the field, hopefully for a touchdown, giving me my 90-yard drives. Always go for 2 and throw it because those extra 5 yards do add up, and then onside kick it to the other team. Out of every 10 tries or so, I might get the ball back, and then I can do another short drive to add on some extra yards. Otherwise, if you don't, you're giving the other team a short field, and we do that on purpose. Because if you have an all-star defense like Keisha and Dimitri, you can usually get a quick 3 and out, and then when they punt you the ball, you won't have to run as far backwards to get to the 5-yard line, and won't have to waste any extra time. Same thing goes for a fumble or an interception. But also, if somebody on the other team breaks it for a first down, just let them score. It's much faster to let them run to the end zone and kick the ball back to you again than it is to try to stop them on a whole new set of downs. So with those specific rules in place, I played game after game, tracking my progress at every halftime to make sure I was on pace. And if one thing went wrong, like throwing an interception, well, I'd restart my game and try again. It would take most people 2 to 3 games, if not more, to reach 715 pass yards, but to ask that again and again every game for 14 games straight is straight up diabolical. However, I was insane enough to undertake this task, and even overachieved it, reaching the 10,000 yard mark after the 13th game. However, you still need to play out the 14th game too so that it'll give you the achievement. Otherwise it won't count. And then make sure you take a screenshot of you doing this too, because for some reason the Hall of Fame will not save passing yards. Don't know why, it just doesn't. So the only evidence that I even completed this was the fact that I got the achievement for it, and also I did it on stream, so I have this screenshot. Here's my proof. I did it. But that's every single achievement in Backyard Football. So if you're an achievement hunter, or you just really love the Backyard Sports franchise and want to get all the achievements for every game, let this video be a fair warning to you that this one is hard. I'm not saying don't do it, I'm just saying you better know what you're getting yourself into before you start. It does take a deep knowledge of how this game works and a lot of commitment to get this done. So I personally wish you the best of luck on your journey. Otherwise, that's it. That's the end of the video. There's another video popping up over here where I talk about the history of the Backyard Sports franchise, how it lived, died, and then came back to life. And then over here is just another video about another video game. I hear it's pretty good. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. You made it this far, you might as well. And a comment about which Backyard Sports game is your favorite. If you can't tell, for me, it's Backyard Football. It's always been Backyard Football. I completed every achievement and I still want to go play this game more. Otherwise, thanks for watching. I'm gonna go play more Backyard Football. That's what I'm gonna do.